We are live. Hey there, everyone, and welcome to the Co-Op Syndicate. Jordan was about to tell us a spicy story there, but I don't think we're going to be talking about that right now. Anyways, it's episode 28. Welcome aboard. I'm your co-host, Michael C. Moore.
And I'm your other co-host, Jordan G. Marcos. And today, once again, we have Sergio back with us on the panel.
Hey, glad to be here.
At this point, he's already just as much a co-host as the rest of us.
Yeah.
Not really in the guest territory any longer.
Thanks, boys.
But as you might have guessed from the title / thumbnail, we are going to be playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for the first time right here on the PlayStation 5. So we're thinking it's going to be a pretty interesting experience. I guess we're all going to give it a try and let you know what our opinions are, as well as just discussing other general things while playing it, kind of like how we did when we were doing
Returnal.
Yeah, when we did Returnal. And I know that you guys really seem to like that video, and you guys gave it a lot of downloads as well over on the Buzzsprout. So hopefully you guys show some love here as well.
There were a lot of audio listeners on that one.
Yeah, believe it or not, surprisingly.
Impressive.
I guess it's because we did a good enough job carrying with a conversation where it also just made for an interesting listen as well.
That's
which
great.
is what I was telling Jordan that something that we might do, since we've been wanting to branch out on the show, is that we're gonna start thinking of different kinds of episodes that we have and stuff. And it seems like the Game Grumps, sort of, where they just play a game and then crack jokes and just talk about stuff while playing those games. That's pretty much what we're thinking we might decide to do, kind of like a let's play, but not just doing commentary on the game itself, but just having general conversations as well.
Dope.
So Jordan, since the PS5 in game is yours, why don't you let us know how we're gonna handle this here?
I was gonna ask you first, how do we get audio out?
The audio is probably fine. I guess the audio's that right there, desktop audio.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the audio comes out on TV so you guys can play.
I don't know how we did that last time. Wait, are we hearing it? I hear it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's coming out over there. It's coming out on those speakers.
Wait, but isn't that because you gotta get it to come out through? You gotta switch it to the TV again. Remember last time you do that, where you switch the audio output, TV, the audio output? You're gonna be like game or something?
I hear it coming from the speakers behind us.
Exactly,
dude.
because that's connected. Right now. It's
Triggering.
connected to your XLR.
I feel like we might have botched the recording of the audio for the start there, so I don't know if we should redo our intro or if we should just roll with it.
Wait, what do you mean we botched?
Because of your PlayStation menu music. I noticed that the bar was doing this the whole time, so I just hope that it was still able to pick us up.
No, I'm sure it did. I mean, it's not that loud, but anyways, I'm gonna go fix that real quick.
I forgot how we managed to.
I'm gonna keep the party going, Sergio.
Yeah. All right. So Sergio's gonna be there. There it is. We have the official start of what was decided. Sergio's gonna be the first one of us, of course. Typical. When do things ever go controlled? Anyways, Sergio's gonna be the first one to be trying Ratchet and Clank here. So let us know your opinions on it as you're going, man. Let it know. What happened? Oh, that's probably. Right now, he's looking at her. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fix that. Having them come out through. Well, we should probably just give each other head. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Yo, Sergio has so much more experience, dude, that he literally just knows automatically. He's saying to switch the source. Oh. To the game. Switch the source to the. No, shh. Just switch the source to the console. Trust us. Go to wherever you plugged in the console. It'll work. Wait. guess. I don't know how Jordan wired this. Okay, but the display card that you connected has an HDMI out that has to run to the TV. Wait, but hold on. No, stop. The way that it works is that okay, so the PlayStation 5 has an HDMI out, right? We're gonna have to cut all this off from the episode, dude. We're gonna okay. So the PS5 has an HDMI out that goes to the capture card input, right? Yeah, the capture card input. Then the capture card also has an output that then goes to the TV of your choice. So the output has to be running to the TV. We can't. Yeah, just leave. We're just gonna leave it there. Well, you know what? Well, yeah, but then we can't hear it. The bottom one, yeah. Yeah. Though, okay, so if you look, I think the one on the right is gonna say in, and the one on the left is gonna say out. So the input you have to leave because the PS5 is going into the computer. Then the output's gonna run from live content. Doesn't get any better than this. Well, you know what? Since we're waiting for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, why don't we just talk about our impressions about some of the stuff that we saw happening with
Line where Metroid Dread is a real fucking game. That's amazing.
It feels too long, right? Since we've had like a main entry like Metroid.
It's Metroid 5.
Yeah, we are.
I mean, it's
streaming anyway.
You know, they said it in the stream themselves. It was 19 years since the last one. It was 2002.
Jeez,
Metroid
man.
Fusion. Well, okay, so technically that's inaccurate, right? Because Samus Returns came out, and that's kind of a new game, but it's also a remake, right? Depending on your definition of what new is.
It
right?
wasn't like another entry in the
right. This is literally a direct sequel to Metroid Fusion. Again,
Dude,
a game that came out 19 years ago.
Bro, I was literally in like the second grade, I think, when the last one came out.
Metroid Fusion. What's funny about how I got into Metroid is you know, my grandmother used to pick me up from elementary school, right? And my elementary school was about like 2 doors down from my grandmother's house, and she's picking me up one day. I think it was like first, second grade, and we're walking down the street. And on the corner, I see a Game Boy Advance game on the floor, but the label's been ripped up. I have no idea what this freaking game is. So I'm like, okay, I just pick it up. No one's around. I pick it up. I take it back home, and I put it in, and it happens to be Metroid Fusion, right? It's Metroid 4.
Dude,
I had no idea what it was at the time, right? But you know, and that
was how you got into the series,
right?
Wow.
It was just completely by happenstance, serendipity. You know?
Hey, there we are.
Okay.
Every single time we have to do a different type of episode, the setup confuses us, and then it makes us forget how to do the previous kind.
Okay.
Jordan the tech wizard, my dude.
All right.
I'm trying to get it as loud as we can so we can have a good experience.
Resistance. Insomniac just said resistance.
There, right? Viewers will also hear it.
Yeah, but don't put it too loud because it'll bleed onto the mics.
Heroes cannot die during combat.
Stop. Go back. Real quick.
Resistance. Wait, what?
Sorry.
What? There's nothing
There's
here.
no other option?
Option for what?
Oh, it says upgrade to deluxe edition.
Never mind. Okay, go.
What's
okay,
deluxe edition?
Go ahead and do your thing. Sorry.
I don't know.
Interesting.
What's the?
Well, if you don't want to die too much, I would just put Rebel Agent. I mean, that way you still have somewhat of a challenge, but don't die. Okay, so performance RT. There you go. Yes.
Okay. So we're starting at last checkpoint that I haven't even started yet.
Is performance RT like the RTX with the higher frame rate and stuff like that? Okay, cool.
Oh, because it's in 1080p. I see. Whoa, it's so gray now. It was like purple before.
I don't understand what's going on with the color.
Did you put HDR on?
No. I took it off.
Hold on, I think HDR was on.
No, we took it off.
Press info on the thing.
You might need to put HDR on then, if that's the case.
HDR 10.
Yeah, you need to turn HDR on the console for that to work then.
I'll fix that.
Nothing like
Very
a little bit
great.
of tech troubleshooting before we get the.
Bro, what
Yeah,
else?
look at that. Oh,
Oh God, the
que
white
asco.
Osco.
Let me
Okay,
tell
or
you,
no.
for some reason, the weirdest
Oh, it was there, it was there.
experience
Yeah,
I
yeah, no.
had with like HDR or
Oh, it's always
whatever
on.
was when I was
Turn
trying
on.
to stream Battlefront 2 on the Xbox. For some reason, it just got very grayed out and weird on my
Okay.
screen.
There we go.
I don't know why.
Probably a similar problem was going on here.
Oh,
Alright,
that's
there you
looking
go.
crisp
There we
right there.
go. Fucking color, finally. All right, performance RT. Anything else I should change?
Well, you want to put subtitles? Let's go to subtitle settings. Turn on.
I
However you want.
personally don't play with subtitles, but it would be good for the viewers. So
All right, my
Yo,
boys, getting started.
Sergio's a menace to society, dude. I need to have
Menace to
subs.
society.
Yeah, I need subtitles on everything I watch.
Nah, dude.
Everything.
I can't.
Bro,
do-
if I wanted to read, I'd read a book.
Fair.
yeah, but
fair.
it just keeps me connected, man.
Bingo, boys.
Wow. Wow.
This is true graphics, bro.
Wow.
Not that shit they show you at E3. This is the real deal.
Dude. I can't believe I'm actually looking at this. What the fuck?
This is Pixar quality right here.
Rest in peace to Guardians of the Galaxy for
Wow.
making their reign look like it belongs on a PS1 game.
Just so
And they have
impressive. This is
like,
all in
compressed.
engine. That's so impressive.
Wow. Dude. I can't believe this is actually the gameplay, dude. Or like, just
I can't believe they figured out how to do RT in 60 frames at the same time. That's fantastic.
They always had it at 60, but it was always lower rendered at like 1080p while you're trying to upscale 4K. But they figured out how to do it at 1440p. So they upscaled the quality of ray tracing while also upscaling the frame rate. A lot of work that they did there.
Dude, this is overpowered.
What surprised me was that they had it ready for lunch. That's the one that kind of got me. I was like, damn, they put in some mad work to make sure that worked.
Bruh.
All right, so as good as any first party game is, it's a little buggy. If anything, I didn't experience anything through my first hour, but if anything funny happens to you guys, I mean, you already know.
Well,
But,
I mean,
yeah.
games usually when they release, they tend to have one or two things. I love Spider-Man, but Spider-Man had fucking weird
Yeah,
glitches.
exactly. Insomnia games always have some funky stuff.
So bugs when they're a minor, like when they're not 100% of the game, they tend to make the game more enjoyable because it's kind of funny. When
Yeah,
a game's 100% bugs, not so much.
Bethesda games. But yeah.
Yo, just at this point, I almost feel like just taking this off.
Take it off.
Oh, can you raise that?
Look, I got to say something. All right.
Oh,
I
no.
think Jaffe is right.
Oh no,
What do you mean?
We're not doing that.
Well, get started.
We're not doing that.
All right, so hold on. You said
I'm
Jaffe,
gonna-
so you kind of screwed me over. All right,
I screwed you
yeah,
over.
now I gotta make.
Now you
another,
got to have a Diet Coke.
Yeah, I gotta have
I'm
a
a-
Diet Coke now. To
I'm
ASMR
gonna
opening right here.
pull out. I'm gonna
Just
pull
for,
out a
one for the
shotgun.
Diet Soda. Diet
Because
Soda.
I'm not doing the zoo file thing on the show here.
No?
right? No,
Hey,
we don't do that. We don't
What
do
did you
that
want
on
to
these
say by
parts.
Jaffe being right?
I'm making a joke about what's her name, Rivet being
Oh,
hot.
Rivet. Oh, okay. Well,
That's
can
what I was
understand it.
making. I was
Yo,
making a joke
no,
about
that's
that.
it. Even Jordan too, dude. Well, what a beautifully long friendship cut short. I'm gonna take you outside like old Yeller and just put an end to it, dude. Jesus
He's so
Christ.
shiny.
Look at that, dude. Look at the texture in his eyeballs.
you can literally see his chest from the chin from the reflection.
Dude. Yo,
How much
Horizon
like
Moor,
hair,
I think
dude.
this is the most overpowered game graphically already, dude.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. I wholly think that Horizon will look at least remotely similar to what they've shown, despite anything.
Dude, I feel like I'm watching a Pixar movie. I don't feel like we're playing a game anymore.
Ratchet and Clank on PS4 already looked amazing, but this
Oh,
knocked it out
snap.
of the
He's
park.
about to take control too.
Yep.
Bro, how does that feel, Sergio?
It's,
How does that feel?
It's smooth. It's a smooth transition. Where's the wrench?
Or you're literally staring at it.
Oh wow. You know what it is? The camera. The camera
Yeah.
was blocking the center of the thing.
Oh,
I couldn't
Yeah.
see it.
well, if you wanna move. Oh no.
Don't
All
worry
right.
about it.
So if you guys are Ratchet and Clank fans, you'd notice that what's about to happen is that they're gonna take you across. They're gonna take you through a parade across all your adventures of the previous Ratchet and Clank adventures, right? So this
Mhm.
first area right here is Veldin, which is the home planet you started in the first game. where you find Clank and you go off and you start your adventure to save the galaxy. I haven't been around the franchise long enough to understand what all this means, but the moment I started this, I literally could not stop smiling because it's like, despite the fact that I have no nostalgia connection to it, I'm enjoying it all the same. Watching the way that like our heroes begin our journey and shit, and like, you know, watching how they went across their adventure and stuff. Look, Michael, you no need to double jump on like another game I know of.
Just say you're bad at platforming, dude.
Oh boy, I almost died.
I am, but I'm gonna hold my ego and blame the game instead.
Dude, I am just kind of lost for words right now. I didn't think I'd ever see something that looked quite like this, like a game in this style. Because like, I don't know, typically when I see things that look like hyper realistic, whatever, they're typically like first person shooters and stuff like that. I didn't think in my lifetime I would see a game like Ratchet and Clank look like this good. I'm kind of like lost for words at the moment.
Yeah, this is the kind of game that I want to support because it shows that this type of game, and especially with Kenna, that we want this, right? And the more that we want this, the more likely we are to get something like this. You know, who knows if they'll ever revive Maximo, for example. Like Capcom, please revive Maximo. But, you know, who knows if they'll ever revive that or revive some other type of old game that we don't remember, like the older Castlevania games. Is that not what I'm supposed to
be shooting?
Huh? Oh, press R3. Press R3.
Shoot the Blarg ships. Is that not the ship?
No, yeah, but hold on. Okay, hold triangle, and then just switch to the blaster. The burst pistol on the left. To the left. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You don't have to. You don't have to L2, by the way. You don't have to L2.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh boy.
The thing that gets me about this game is how much detail they put into his fur. Like, it's just insane to me.
Dude, look at the bokeh on the background when you zoom in to shoot. This is insane.
I do like that. That's very.
Remember when you were complaining to me that PS4 games don't have you can't see depth?
Yeah,
like they usually hide it behind mist. Well, there you go, no mist,
dude,
with extra detail.
Oh,
now I'm thinking Horizon might be real.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. This is an interplanetary game. So there's multiple maps and all that stuff and loading and whatnot. The rails, like sliding on rails and stuff is it's not super difficult or anything, so you don't feel stressed. It's not Sonic. I know it makes you think you're Sonic, but no, it's not Sonic. Sergio's like, I'm gonna conserve my ammo. Take my wrench. Take my wrench, wench. You know? Sergio's deep into it. Unlike Returnal, he's actually into it. Look at him.
Yeah, I'm actually
he
like
actually
focused.
entered the game. I guess this one actually did capture his interest.
Yeah, he's the
look. Hey, here's the thing. I do find myself liking this,
right?
But I don't know. I feel like I want to play the older games now, like ahead of this.
I have the original trilogy
to really enjoy the
I
narrative
have them too. No, I have the trilogy. I have the games on PS3. Like this is a series I've tried to get into several times.
Right.
But it's kind of a lot like Souls, where it's like I played multiple games and multiple times it just like never clicked. But then one of them clicked, you know. Maybe this is the one that clicks.
I can tell you this. I know fans are gonna hate me, but in general, the original trilogy has sort of been, or the original 4 games have been sort of retconned in the Future series. So if you just go on PS Now and play Ratchet and Clank Future series, then you can skip a couple games or and kind of, you know, get the full picture of the story.
I have the Future games. Like I have them boxed, you know, they're on my shelf.
Right. Well, but that's what I'm saying. You can skip the original trilogy in a sense.
Yo, but Sergio said take this wrench right quick, dude.
Yeah.
Get them binkity boppity.
If you want to get the full context of the story, though, then yeah, sure, play all the games. But if you want to skip some, you can skip the original trilogy because the ones that most make sense for the immediate story are okay.
So then where
series.
does 2016 fall then?
No, that's a remake. A lot of people don't like talking about that.
They don't like talking about it
because it's a great game, but it's a complete remake of the story, starting again at the beginning.
Right, but isn't this a sequel to that game?
No.
Oh,
this is a sequel to the Future series. That game's just a remake of the original trilogy.
Okay.
Let me lower the volume a little bit. I'm sorry. It's just
we're like yelling at each other.
Yeah, it's a remake of the original series, right? And it starts again at the first game, but reimagined with the story of the movie. That's why people don't talk about it, because the movie story is, kind of bad, right?
Okay.
But it's not a continuation of story, but rather a remake or a retelling, like a reimagining of the story. So you can skip 2016 altogether. I mean, it's a fun game though. Not gonna lie. If you like this one, you'll like 2016. But the only games you have to play are Tools of Destruction, A Crack in Time, and Into the Nexus.
Oh, you don't have to play Quest for Booty?
No, those are just spinoffs.
I thought Quest for Booty was the middle one. Like it was between Tools of Destruction and A Crack in Time.
It won't add much to the story, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And neither will Full Frontal Assault or All for One. Like none of those three games or those three spinoffs won't add to the story as much. You can like skip them and you won't miss out much. Yeah, like those games are more to like explore the characters than they are to advance the story, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, now that I just counted them, I can't believe it was 6 PlayStation 3 generation Ratchet and Clank games. There's practically almost a new Ratchet and Clank game almost every year. Within a 7-year lifespan, there's 6 Ratchet and Clank games.
For
PS3.
I was thinking like all the way back to PS2. I'm like, that's impossible. There's no way.
Well, no, on PS2,
one a year.
On PS2, they announced in 2002 they announced Ratchet and Clank 1.
Right.
In 2004 we got Ratchet and Clank 2. 2005 we got Ratchet and Clank 3 with Jak and Daxter 3 and Jak and Daxter 2 being 2004. And then in 2006 or 7 we got 2006 we got I forget what the name of it, but the Deadlocked, Ratchet and Clank Deadlocked, and in 2007 we got Tools of Destruction. We practically almost got into Ratchet and Clank almost every year, except for like after PS4 came out.
When do I get the Sly Cooper gun?
That's the Rhino, man. The Rhinos usually come in at the end of the game, so unfortunately,
I'm gonna have to play this whole game just to get that gun.
Well, I mean, it shoots it from all over the PlayStation universe. It's not just gonna be Sly, but
I know. But that's the only one I care about. Well, that and Uncharted, right? I guess we're going to be dropping Jeeps on people.
Jeeps. Yee. I can honestly tell you that I understand why people might say that this hasn't changed the formula of Ratchet and Clank and it brings nothing new to the table. But to me, it's like, this is peak comfort food, right? Like, no matter what way you slice it, you can enjoy this experience. Whether it brings something new to the table or not, it's just a fun game that just puts a smile on your face.
Yeah,
every time you turn it on.
The loop is simple, right? Go through areas. Collect bolts, hit enemies. It's a classic platformer style. Third person action.
Yeah, it's just a very high end platform.
I think that the main thing is that I think a lot of the times people, not that they necessarily want too much from gaming, but they don't know or really understand what they want from gaming, because you hear all the time, oh, I want something innovative, I want something new, I want something different. But then a lot of times we do get that new stuff, and then at the same time, sometimes your soul just yearns for something that's familiar as well, and just to see it in the maximum potential of what modern tech can do. And that's the case with Ratchet and Clank right here. It's a game that started off in the PS2.
The lighting in this game is ridiculous. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to like.
No, that's fine.
It's because they play with ray tracing, so
it's just the way the shadows were hitting him from behind. It's like,
yeah,
oh my
it's absolutely
God.
insane.
That's the magic of ray tracing, right?
Yeah.
They figured it out on console.
Oh, you have to switch grind wheels.
Yeah, you have to left. Oh man, you're in slow motion, just aiming for it. He got trapped.
He was just going right there.
The game was just like,
no.
oh look, he found a trophy. This game, Sergio was like, what do I do? And the game was like, here, hold this L.
Hold
slow
this L.
motion. In slow motion.
Well, anyway, what I was trying to say was that, but sometimes the soul just yearns for something that's familiar, and so you see the case with Ratchet and Clank is that it's a
you don't have
IP
to hold
that
L
was
too.
made
I know
on the,
I don't.
on the PlayStation
I like
2.
to.
People who are like full grown adults now played this when they were little kids, and I'm sure that for everyone who's a big Ratchet and Clank fan, seeing one of their favorite games look like this in modern day and playing it and having it look and sound this amazing and everything just must be, it feels unreal. So there's all I'm trying to say is that there's value. There's value in doing new things and innovating, but a lot of the times you could find a lot of value in the past and revisiting things that are kind of older too.
Yeah. All right, Sergio. So real quick, I want to ask you some questions.
Mm.
So aside from your experience from playing the game, because anybody's gonna feel that, but how do you feel with the controller and the experience that it's trying to give you through the DualSense and the adaptive triggers?
You know, I gotta be real with you. There are a lot of times where, and this is not just with this game, but like the fact that it like stops, like you have to keep pressing it. I actually don't like it. Like I
Really?
wish it would just let me like just go because
Well,
that's
you can turn it off.
that's how I'm gonna play.
But you can turn it off.
You can turn that off.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Then I
You can
guess
turn it off.
I guess I will do that at some
I
point.
like it because, you know, it gives you different mechanics, right? So, for example, with the shotgun you're about to buy, if you buy it, I think it's called the Enforcer, right? By you using the R2, right, you have the option of pressing R2 once and shooting one bullet at a time, or if you
Okay.
hold it down, it'll do a double shot. So it adds
Okay.
more to the mechanics of the game. That's usually what the adaptive triggers is for,
Sure, it makes sense.
right? So you'll
How do
see
you
here.
how do
See,
you what how do you get to that menu again with
hold triangle.
You know,
There we go. Thank you. Okay.
You know,
Funnily-
top, left, and right are your D-pads. So if you want a quick swap,
funnily enough, since you're bringing that up, I kind of want to just to quickly announce it. I find it's interesting that while it does add a certain level of immersion, that it was also in a way that could be technically very negative for gamers at the same time. Specifically, not necessarily the haptic feedback, but specifically the adaptive triggers, because one of the biggest things that you look into when you're buying like keyboards or certain joy pads and stuff like that is how much resistance the buttons offer. And what you find a lot of the times, if stuff offers you a lot of resistance, it might actually put like strain on your fingers from you know playing longer periods of time and stuff like that. So
well, I mean, but that's why they always give you the option to turn it off. You just
right, but
turn the
then
option.
the concern for me there becomes if you turn it off, how easy is it to just accidentally like
well,
full
but
squeeze
that's
versus
your
half? You know,
decision. The whole point of the pressure point on the adaptive trigger is to give you that opportunity to control that, right? Because back in the day, they would just give you that mechanic, but you would have to feel it.
yeah.
But the
I
controller
wanna-
does it for you, and it tries to do it in a way. Well, to me, it feels natural because it's kind of cool. Like, oh crap, I'm not pressing the whole button, and you know, it stops me from doing a mistake like that, or at least it
Yeah.
tries to prevent.
Personally, I don't feel like it's that bad because I've like, you know, I've trained myself to have like pretty good grip strength. But at the same time, I mean, I say that, but also I feel I spend most of my days having like really bad wrist pain and finger pain probably
well,
from.
no, I mean, I understand
playing
your
on,
point.
like, a
That's
tighter
why you
controller
can
and
turn
stuff,
it.
too.
It's right now. It's at full power.
No,
I mean,
I like it,
No,
but
no,
I'm just wondering myself also how
I'm
bad.
giving you the answer like
Mhm.
via accessibility, right?
Oh, okay.
So, for example, if Sergio doesn't like the power of it, he can just go and turn it into moderate.
Oh, right.
and
You
then
can
lower
reduce
the
it too.
tension of the thing or turn it off altogether. You know?
That's true.
What you like? What's going on, Sergio? You're
Is
smiling.
this guy still? This guy has been running in place. In the cutscene, he was running in place
Wait,
too.
is that
Look at this guy.
is that supposed to
Look
be
at
like
this.
that?
No,
No,
I didn't remember
come
that
on.
yesterday.
Look at that.
I didn't remember that last time. Well, not yesterday. But last time I
Dude,
played it.
insomnia glitches. I love it.
Yeah.
That looks pretty neat. Dude, this game
No, it doesn't.
is tantamount to a sexual experience.
Jesus. So why is it okay for us to talk about Rivet but not you?
Oh, I'm not saying it that way. You guys were like being massively horn dog about
I didn't
Rivet.
say anything. I just said I can understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I'm
I
sure.
didn't say I
Oh,
agree.
I'm sure.
Where am I going? Up here?
No. You gotta
Look,
look for
I-
another.
I-
Look to
to-
the right.
The
What
right.
I will say to that is to each their own.
Okay, no, go back.
Adonde?
No, this is probably a side thing. Go back to
Oh, is that what it is?
and then up there where the enemy's at.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
I'm sure that they designed Rivet have some conventionally attractive. God, why you gotta? Why?
Utilizing Aloy not looking feminine enough. It's like it's your choice if you dig that or not.
Look, I don't know, dude. If it's between Aloy and Rivet, I think the choice is obvious.
What is happening here,
Okay,
dude?
I'm not-
I don't even know.
I'm
I'm
not
not
gonna
even
get into that.
participating in this
Yeah,
conversation. like I
the
normally
answer
would
is
be.
obvious, but it depends on how much sanity we're involving into this obvious answer.
Yeah, I actually don't need. Yeah, I think it might not be obvious, actually, according to what's happening here. I feel like all three of us, all individually, have something different going on in our head right now, and I'm scared to find out what it is.
Nah, man. If I had to pick between Aloy and Rivet, the answer is obvious. Just simple, dude.
Whoa, what's
It's
the
very
obvious
simple.
answer,
I'm not
Jordan?
gonna go
It's
to-
obvious. It doesn't even need to be said.
I don't
dude.
want to go towards the.
I think it needs to be said because I don't know if I'm on the same
I don't
page
care, I'll
as you
just say,
guys.
I'm not gonna go towards the B word. You know, I'm gonna stick to just me being. If I had to pick between a human and an animal, I'm just gonna pick the human. You know,
Oh,
I'm not,
all right.
I'm not gonna go towards the
Slowly
the B
turns
mode.
towards Sergio. Sergio. The choice
listen.
is obvious, right?
The choice is
Hey,
very
Jaffe
obvious.
brought up a point.
I'm telling you, Sergio's a menace to society, dude.
Menace to society.
Oh man, this game just puts a smile on my face every time I see
I
it.
wonder how much, like, if I was playing this, would I be missing stuff by going through those portals? Like, should I be exploring other things?
No, that's the main path right now. I mean, he should be exploring because obviously you want to get as many bolts as you want. But what I noticed is that compared to other games, there's so much hidden in the hub worlds that you just go wherever the hell you want. Because this game, ultimately, like Spider-Man, it allows you to just go back and collect everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not really missing anything. But if you don't explore, obviously you're gonna make your life harder, right? Because the less you explore, the less XP you get for your weapons and health, and then it makes the game slightly harder as the enemies get harder, sort of all that stuff. So a lot of things you gotta keep in mind, right? So what we're gonna do now is obviously so we have time to take turns and all that stuff during the stream. Sergio, when you get to it's gonna be like another 10 minutes. But when you get to the club,
yeah,
we're gonna switch with Michael because I want to see what you guys feel with the music. For me personally, I actually felt the beat of the music on my hands, and it shook me so much I could slightly feel it on my heart in the way that you do in a real life disco, where you feel like your heart pumping to the beat, like you can feel it to your core. I kind of felt that a little bit with the controller, but I want to see if you guys felt what I felt.
Dude, that's intense.
Yeah. Well, then again, I don't know if on the guest mode it maxes out the vibrations, because I know I play with maxed out vibration stuff. So I'm Mrs. Zircon Jr. reporting for duty.
Yo, that's bussin'. Yo, I dig how having so many weapons that you could just like switch between them and all that. It really adds versatility to the combat, or
you're supposed to. You don't carry that much ammo per weapon, so at least until you level them up. So, and the enemies also start taking a lot more damage. So you always want to mix it up and change it as you go. That's like the fun of it. And the fun of it too is also using each weapon to see how far you can upgrade them and see like how crazy or zany the weapons get over time. Remember that if they're on the top, down, left, or right, you can just use D-pad. That way you don't have to stress yourself. Yo, dude, Sergio's totally zoned in, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think Returnal was a hit for him for this game.
Yo, he glitched for a second there. That was funny. So the game looks pretty solid. Just a couple of glitches here and there for right now, but mostly like pretty solid stuff.
I can't complain, man. We got a good product through and through. I know that people are gonna be like, Jordan, maybe you're a little on the dumb side or on the slow side, but I personally think this game is a 10 out of 10 for me. Like I know for a fact I'm gonna 100% enjoy all 20 hours of this game, getting the platinum and everything through and through. And based off the review scale that we made on the last few episodes, which I guess we'll get Sergio's opinion after our intermission between one thing and another.
Yeah, I mean, when we were talking about how we want to start reviewing games and all that, I think really that's the only real way that makes sense is that we do it based off our own enjoyment, because not every game that is like really well made is gonna have some sort of a top tier well written masterpiece of a story that's gonna make you think about the inner mechanisms of humanity and emotion, stuff like that.
Not everything is Hideo Kojima. Yes, I
exactly. So I don't think that's necessarily something that you want to hold against certain games, especially when maybe a game doesn't even have a story mode. So it just makes sense to do it based off enjoyment and not necessarily look at all the conventional things that much, if that makes sense.
Right. No, of course. I mean, that's what I've always tried to say, right? I mean, I could sit here and grandstand and be arrogant as I do when we're off cam and just say, PlayStation is the greatest thing of all time. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that out of spite of the fact that I'm upset that Xbox and Nintendo hasn't provided me something that's worth my blood pumping and stuff. But the truth is, like we saw on the E3, and I guess we can chip in a little bit before we have that conversation later tonight, or maybe another like next week, or Saturday or something. There was a lot of stuff on Xbox conference that, despite title cards and trailers, I'm actually excited for.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying that like games are bad or whatever, but I'm also saying that indie games are worth the merits of the same genuine interest that you should have over a AAA game. Like it merits your time all the same.
Yeah, and you should be able to rate those on a scale that makes sense when comparing them to the AAA. I don't know how much
you've seen in terms. You probably haven't seen FGS or PC, game show, right? The FGS,
no, Future Game Show. No, I did not watch.
There's a game there that's like Doom, but you're this chick that's one armed and her other arm is a Mega Man cannon. And you,
Yo.
literally, and you do wall running.
Samus?
I don't know, but you wall run like Mirror's Edge, but it plays like Doom
It's kind of like in one arm it's a cannon and the other one's like a pistol.
or like a gun. or
No,
something.
no one remembers what this game was called.
No, I'm sorry. I'll look at it. I'll look at it. Hold on.
Funnily enough, the thing that I enjoyed the most about PC, the PC game show or whatever, and the future game show or whatever. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think so. The thing that I like the most about those, that looks pretty great too. The nighttime scenarios look pretty sweet. Little bit of a, pirate ship. Oh, really? Well, interesting. That was a very pretty climactic opening there. So anyways, I was gonna say that one of the things. Oh,
What? Phone.
So one of the things that was my favorite show was the PC Gamer Show and the Future Game Show. But the problem that also was that there was too many damn games, man. So I literally I ended up watching without taking notes, and now I don't remember any of the names of the games that I like.
Yeah,
it was there was a lot that were misses for me because it wasn't stuff that I was really into. But no, it's fine. Yeah, we didn't take notes, so I ended up not memorizing any of the games. There was too many to keep track of. But there was some there that I was like, oh, Sergio, I like that. That's looks kind of like Doom. There was many that were like that. There was a couple of Max Payne type games as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was telling Jordan that I think, I mean, like, obviously games like Ratchet and Clank deserve to be acknowledged.
Yeah, honestly, it's, one game that I am kind of excited for and not excited at the same time because of its reputation is the Guardians of the Galaxy game, only because it has Max Payne stuff and because of that awesome trailer with that one song, Holding Out for a Hero. But yeah, I get your point.
Oh.
So this is an alternate universe where he won?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, for context, a little bit of the story. I know it's spoilers, but if you guys ever get into the series,
it's him, but it's not him. Watch it. What was up?
No, that a little bit of context. So Ratchet's the last Lombax in this universe. But in one of the previous games, all the Lombaxes went to another universe, and that's why Rivet exists, because she's from
that universe.
Yeah, from that universe where supposedly Lombaxes survived or something.
I like the movie opening. You know, that delayed title screen.
Yeah.
The delayed roll of credits.
It's very cinematic.
Apparently, Mega Man's the Dread game is supposed to conclude her saga.
You mean Metroid Dread?
Yeah, Dread.
You said Mega Man.
Sorry.
Rip.
I was about to shit myself. They announced a new Mega Man game too. Fuck.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, right. Capcom literally doing something? I don't think so.
No, not with Mega Man.
I'm uneducated. I'm sorry.
Mega Man 11 was the last
finally
thing they
officially
did.
announced for PS5.
Yeah, coming up for my birthday. Well, for pretty good.
First, pretty good, right?
Yeah. Literally, I guess what I'll say to end the conversation on that is Rivet is what I think a lot of people call furbait.
Oh, they did show No More Heroes 3. They did a treehouse thing afterwards where they show off more Nintendo gameplay and they showed off No More Heroes. I'm looking for the game, guys. I'm sorry. Just give me a second to find it because I know that it's kind of on me.
It was on us for not taking notes, but still, you know. That had to have been like over 100 games that they presented, dude.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, I don't even remember seeing the name on the stream anyways. Man, maybe that's my fault for skipping or anything, but... Damn, dude, Everwild rebooted.
Before, during, and after making your purchase.
Oh, yeah.
That's how Jordan views Sony. It's like, I make sure that when I wake up and before I turn on my console, during my console, and after and I thank Tony every day.
What?
He just wants to see a statue of Red
That's a statue of Jim Ryan in his room.
Yeah, right.
There you
Dude.
go.
I'm still not happy about some of his outlooks regarding PlayStation Legacy and stuff.
Oh, me too, dude. You know what's
So,
funny about that interview is that I read recently. He's like, the only thing I learned was that in the future I need to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what he said. That's what he learned. Not that people want
Jeez.
the old games, that I need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, okay, dude.
That's kind of scummy.
Yeah.
Well, but he's kind of right. You know, you always want to keep your mind and say level-headed thing. You don't want to go out spewing random
but
opinions.
that's kind of attuned to like. I mean, I don't know. Have you
Well,
guys
no,
ever?
but hold on. He apologized for that too. He said, in hindsight, I should have respected our legacy a bit more. So he did apologize for that, but he also said I should keep in mind, like, he's basically saying, like, okay, I should just blatantly say my opinion, right? We say this all the time with me being arrogant, sometimes saying dumb crap. Oh, look, they finally turned the Xbox into a mini fridge.
Well, I was just gonna say that it sounds to me kind of like a red flag that people say, "Hey, you're wrong," and he should say, "Oh, next time I'll learn to shut up." That's not really the right takeaway. You're
No, of
supposed to
course.
say like, "Oh, you know, I kind of really didn't see it that way. I'm glad that we were able to have this conversation, not just oh, next time I'm just gonna think what I want and not say anything." You know?
Hmm.
Well, if people are going to chastise you for it too, you know, you do learn the lesson to just, hey, there's a, have a closed mouth and getting chastised, on the internet, because people do take things out of context.
Well,
Like I said,
that's true
the
too.
the only thing that people drew from that, he learned to say that his mouth, he should be quiet in the future. But he did say, you know what? In hindsight, I should have probably respected PlayStation Legacy a little bit more. And he was making a comment about like people saying, "Oh, I want to play Gran Turismo 1 and 2 on PS5." It's like his opinion is, do you want to play the old game or do you want us to give you a new Gran Turismo? But he said it in a way that came across wrong because he was saying, I don't really think people really care about old games, which is not true. People do care about preserving PlayStation Legacy, and I think he understands that. But
Well, that's the whole reason why emulation exists, right?
yeah, but I think it stands that he's not going to do it.
Oh, I see what you're talking about. I feel the vibration in the controller.
Yeah. Why it's gonna get like harder now, so. Dude, Somerville. Somerville.
It's pretty cool.
Well, go ahead and let him try it out now.
Yeah,
Let's
go
go ahead and switch. Yeah. Let Michael have his turn. So, Michael, you want to, sir, do you want to chime in? Like, give us your opinion. Like, what have you played? Do you think Ratchet and Clank is finally something we'll try?
Look, I had a lot of fun. My biggest here's the thing, and here's why I don't think I will play this game after this, is that it's very hard for me to like start a game over again if I've already put a certain amount of time into it.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Well, but you've only played like 30 minutes.
I know I've only played 30 minutes, but
Come on, man.
that's how stupid my brain is, where it's like I just want to get to the stuff I haven't seen yet. I'm enjoying this. Don't get me wrong. I would probably play more of this if I had it.
Right.
But I also just don't see myself getting this anytime soon, just because there's all this other stuff that I want to play right now.
Oh, no, of course.
You know?
It's not, when you learn of something new, normally, especially with you and me having like backlogs,
Yeah.
like usually we got to find a spot to put it in our schedule,
Right,
like our
right.
priorities, and then, wait for the list to come up. But I mean, is it finally something you would consider is what I'm asking, because before you were like, I don't really care for Ratchet, right? So that's what I'm trying to see, like gauge your interest now based off the impact.
Yeah, I would play more of this. I would definitely play more of this. I don't know when I'd get around to it, but I'd definitely play more.
Right. I'm definitely paying attention.
It makes
I'm
me
just
want to
looking for
play the
game.
older ones for sure.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. I mean, sometimes, I love the Souls games as much as any, but from what it sounds like, it seems like that's what you're mostly playing right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, at some point, I'm sure you're considering like, oh, you know what, let me just play a simpler game where I could just go from point A to point B and not have to stress about difficulty or whatever, right? I mean, that's kind of how I am too. I love Souls games, but sometimes I don't want to deal with this right now.
No, sure.
So I'll just take a break from that. Michael, by the way, how'd you feel about the vibrations on the controller?
Pretty good, man. I was always impressed with the haptic feedback technology, so I'm not surprised that they keep finding more and more ways to like kind of use it to enhance like your immersion in the game. So that was pretty fantastic.
Great.
Oh, I like that. The trigger's kind of aggressive for me right now, especially for something semi-auto.
Well, because when you hold it down, it's full auto.
I see.
And
Perfect.
it shoots faster. So you have full control over it, or like you just lose it and let the recoil go where it takes you.
Wait, triangle.
All right. Well, in that case, now compare this to like what your interests are. Like gauge it based off of the games that you're planning to put on your list regarding, Somerville, if you want to talk about that one. I know you said you had a lot of interest in that one,
Yeah, that one. You know what the thing with that is? It's just whenever there's like a story about like a family in trouble.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why, but that just hits me. That just hits me in like all the right spots, I guess. Like it's just the emotional stakes are high enough for me where I'm just like I have to see that through.
Right.
And it looks cool. It looked like, this cross between like Inside and I mean, I don't know. Actually, I don't even know what you would cross it over with. It reminded me a lot of Inside. The Play Dead game.
Okay.
That one looked pretty cool. And 12 Minutes is another one that I've been following for a long time that I really want to play. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe as a game between Souls games that I could slot this in or something. I mean, realistically, I don't see myself buying this game. It's probably going to be something that I would have to ask you if I could borrow, honestly.
Right. That's the great thing about CDs. Huh? Just putting it out there.
Yo, what the hell? I turned him into a Doom game, dude. That's fantastic. Actually,
that is the benefit of the CD.
There's
for sure.
actually there's in the 2016 game, real quick, since you mentioned the Doom thing. There's an actual thing called telepathopus, and essentially it looks like the if you pixelize it looks like the meatheads from Doom. You know, the meat dudes, the one eye, the side. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. But anyway,
the cacodemons.
Yeah. So you were saying? You were saying like in between, like when you take your time off.
Yeah. Well, so my main thing is I want to finish the Souls games before Elden Ring comes out, right? So that gives me 6 months to finish these games, and I really need to just stop slacking on Demon Souls because I could be playing a lot more Demon Souls if I stopped watching as much YouTube as I do, and I instead played Demon Souls. I probably would have finished it like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Even though I've only had it for like 4 months.
Right.
But yeah. So I want to finish that, and then what else? Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3, Sekiro. That's what I need to get through, and then also Horizon comes out this year though, and I do actually want to play that one too.
We're assuming that it's going to come out in November.
That's true. We are assuming.
Godly, dude.
I mean, it most likely will. It's
and then
like
Halo's also this year. God damn.
Well, yeah, but I'm honestly, if I'm being honest, like they kind of spoiled it last year with the demo, and my genuine interest in the series has kind of died out since Halo 4. Like I think Halo 4 for me killed it. So I've been wanting to get back in, and Infinite shows promise.
Oh, cool.
But Michael and I have already looked at the way that Microsoft's like, starting to paint the picture of what the future of Xbox is, and I don't think it falls in line with what I want. Right?
Sure.
I think it's gonna be. I don't know. I could be wrong. They might make a compelling story, but
Well, look, I said the same thing on my show where I was like, look, the 3 times that 343 has handled Halo, they've bungled it every time, right? Where Halo 4, take it or leave it, right? It's take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Master Chief Collection was a buggy mess when that came out. And then, most of the hardcore fan base did not really enjoy the changes that were made in Halo 5, particularly how you spend a majority of the game not playing as Master Chief, right? So, does that exactly bode well for Halo Infinite? Probably not, but for whatever reason, and maybe it's because the marketing is working, I guess, but I have this weird feeling about this one that it's going to be interesting,
Right.
It's going to be I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't call it return to form because I haven't played it. But, I just have this good feeling about it,
Okay.
Could be wrong, but I am interested in playing it, and I'll have Game Pass by then, so I mean, I won't have to plunk down a bunch of money to play it.
Well, see, that's the thing I was telling you in the car, right? There's always the big worry that they don't really have to show anything anymore, or they don't have to appeal to anyone because it's on Game Pass, right? You're already paying for it, just take what you get, eat it, and be gone. They don't have to try as hard to get your money as much as Sony has to try and reinvent the wheel.
Convince you to spend $70.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't have to
Holy
play the
shit!
game
Thank
hard
God
anymore.
that you can recast your hook. Like,
oh, you almost fell in the same part that I did.
Huh?
You almost fell in the same part I did.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
So yeah, I mean that's interesting. How you bring it from that point.
Game is gorgeous, dude. I can't believe this game's running in motion.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my
this
God.
is actually phenomenal.
Yeah, man.
I messed up.
Goodbye, Ratchet.
Maybe I can.
Nah, dude. Die.
I
This game
figured I would
reminds me
try
too
it.
much, or this map reminds me too much of Cloud City. This is actually where I left off, if I'm being honest. So yeah, you did get past where I was.
You haven't made any further than this?
Nope.
Oh wow.
That was pretty much where I stopped my hour.
Shit OP, dude.
But the thing is that unlike you guys, I went and did a side quest first before I did the disco part.
Oh, they're sprinting too. That's right. Hey, I love when they have sprinting games like this. Good quality of life change, you know.
I'm having such a difficult time. Oh, how'd you feel about oh, you didn't see the Ubisoft thing?
I did not, no, but I heard that they showed off Avatar. They showed off Mario versus Mario and Rabbids,
Okay.
the second one. What else did they show off? Was it
I'm assuming you didn't care enough to know what they're gonna announce, right? Or what they announced, right?
I don't remember most of what they announced, to be perfectly honest with you. But that's also because I don't really play a majority of Ubisoft games.
Well, I'll tell you something.
They keep refusing to make Splinter Cell, so it's like, okay, fine, then I refuse to watch your show.
Well, I'll give you some things that might hype you up.
Okay.
So there's a new VR experience where you play as all the bad guys from Far Cry 3, 4, and 5. So you play as Vaz, Paga,
That's
and Min.
VR?
Yeah. And
I
the
thought
dude from Far Cry 5.
that was just like you get to play as the characters in Far Cry 6.
Well, now they made a VR one.
No, they made a VR thing too with those characters.
Okay, but that's a separate game from Far Cry 6.
Aside from the Far Cry 6 DLC that they announced, yes, there's a VR game as well that also includes those villains. It's like a horror thing where you're kind of like, the three of them are just like there, but they're remembering like the time that the main character Brody or whatever killed them, some crap from Far Cry 3.
I was under the impression that it was just that you get to play as those characters in the game, and then it came with Far Cry Blood Dragon.
Oh no, the main character.
Main character. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot something. Brody.
Yeah, I
Jason
said
Brody.
Jason Brody. Yeah, there you go. So you're saying?
No, I was under the impression that it was just that you get to play those characters in 6, and then you get Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon as like as an additional bonus.
Yeah,
there you go. And
Blood Dragon's getting remastered, so that was another interesting thing.
That's
about
great.
The
They're bringing that back because more people need to play that game.
They promised us a trilogy, and then they never made another one.
Blood Dragon.
Yeah.
Yes,
they promised
that
us
game
a trilogy.
is so good.
I never got to try it, and now
You've never played it?
I never.
I'm so
I
jealous,
think Jordan
dude.
Jordan let me. Jordan played it a little bit in front of me, but I never got to try it myself. So now that
I am so jealous you get to play that for the first time.
I remember
that was so
it's
much
gonna be
fun.
beautiful.
You know,
That might be my favorite Far Cry game, honestly.
I think that's a lot of people's favorite Far Cry game. To be fair,
it's funny because they promised us a trilogy,
purple,
and then we never got another game.
Yeah,
but
I do remember they put out like a piece of art that said it was Blood Dragon 3, Vietnam War 2, and it was like there were xenomorphs and like the mechs from RoboCop, and it was just like all this stuff. But I think that was more like of an April Fool's joke than anything else. And there's been nothing else since then. The only Blood Dragon stuff we've gotten is the Trials game, Trials of the Blood Dragon. And then we got apparently the guy who did Castlevania on Netflix. I think his name is Adi Shankar.
Yeah.
I probably butchered his name. I'm sorry. He's working on Captain Laserhawk, which is an anime that takes place in the Blood Dragon universe.
Whoa,
right,
interesting.
Yeah,
that piqued my interest. Well,
yeah,
look,
I'll probably watch that.
It's funny because one of my few interactions with David Jaffe was he was on Twitter one day because it was set that are saying Ubisoft is kind of like they're kind of starting to get generic and people are just hating. Oh, but Far Cry 6, this and that.
Yeah.
And he just said, guys, like, I mean, I'm being honest, they haven't really reinvented the wheel. Like, where's the part where I get to be like some type of superhuman or something? And then I go to him on Twitter. It's like, Jaffe, I saw your video, but what about Blood Dragon? And then he was like, oh yeah, I love that game. Thank you for reminding me. I'm like, yeah,
there you go.
There you go. You know. And then that's exactly what we're talking about. You need to bring the good shit.
I've been so desperate for an actual sequel to that game, like larger map, new weapons, new area, new story. Like just,
oh my god, dude, I can't find.
I would. Game. That's one of those games where I wouldn't wait. Like I wouldn't wait for it to hit $20. I would go forth.
You'd buy it right away.
Right, but just to tell them that like I actually want that shit. Like make more of that. You know?
Yes, that would be so good, dude. I agree. I feel the same way, man. I would do literally. I was too young. Like I've probably been raving about it a little bit too much lately. But for me, I've just since I've kind of been like on a whole emulation like trip and all that lately, I really rediscovered that an old game from the PlayStation 2 that was a spiritual successor to Ghosts and Ghouls called Maximo, and it only had 2 games, and at that point I was too young to really make financial decisions such as like buying a video game myself.
Sure.
And even if I did, right, it's not like my purchase alone would have been enough to to have kept it alive,
Yeah.
but because the second game kind of bombed, the series kind of died, and now I think and now I think Capcom kind of forgot about it. So if I
Yeah.
was in your guys' shoes, where now the possibility for Blood Dragon, supporting Blood Dragons there, I would definitely take the first chance possible and just give them your money, so that way they know to make more of it.
I can't find this, and it's upsetting me.
Are you still looking for the Doom Mirror's Edge type game?
I'm so upset that I can't find it, dude.
Why don't you just look up a list of the games that were announced at the future game show?
But no one cares enough
No one has
about
a
future
list?
game show to put a full list. Well, I found a list, but they didn't have pictures or trailers, so I can't tell the title.
If anything, after we finish the stream, we could real quick just go to the show and scroll to the part where it was at.
Yeah, but it's like this. It's somebody should have it already. I mean,
why don't you just go to the video and scroll a little bit real quick? If you're looking,
I'm
for
having
it anyway.
a tough time with the internet, so I'm trying to load articles so that it loads faster.
Are you on my Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I am. Windows Central has half of it, but
I think your arm just took a peek at Rivet.
It did.
no, I don't want to play right now. Hold on.
Oh.
You guys can take turns. I mean,
All right, Sergio.
I
back
think
to
you missed
back
what
to
I was saying, dude.
What happened?
I was saying that your boom arm looked at Rivet because it went.
Oh,
oh my god, this guy with the suggestive commentary.
Fair enough. I know. I sometimes you know how it is. If you don't hear something, sometimes you just
frick! It's because of the art style of the thumbnail. It was animated. It's called Severed Steel. There you go.
Severed Steel.
Severed Steel. There you go.
I'll have to look that up.
All right, me boys.
If
So
Sergio accidentally lost
actually,
his
hold on. Let's go ahead and stop right here.
his member,
All right.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to stop you. Like,
No,
stop
no,
after
no,
looking
that's
at
fine.
Reddit,
Reddit.
but
it would also be
can you
called
start a new stream?
Severed
Can you
Steel.
start a new stream and we'll
Start a
call
new
it here?
stream?
Yeah,
Sure.
So,
All right.
we're
So
gonna stop this episode and jump into the next game so that we can keep it.
commentary discussion real quick. That's just so sudden.
I thought we had it all throughout the game. Okay, well, you know what? Let's final thoughts on your game. Go ahead.
I definitely want to play more.
Okay, so you do like.
I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Yeah. No, when you were saying that, oh look, he's quiet, he's focused. It's like, yeah, it's because I'm actually it
locked you in, unlike Returnal, which kind of disconnect.
I liked Returnal's loop, but it wasn't
at the moment.
I didn't see myself playing it a whole lot, So, but this one, I don't know. This one, I just feel like it's like comfort food, like you were saying, Nice.
Yeah. So to me, number one, graphically fucking beautiful. I'd never thought see a game on a console look this good, and run so smoothly, and just looked that great. So that's fantastic. I literally feels like I'm playing a Pixar movie, which is great. It definitely gives me that classic PS2 era feel for like the old, hack and slasher platformers and stuff like that, but with kind of like a smoothness that just you only really get from developing these kinds of games from like year over year. Like it doesn't really have any of that awkwardness that maybe some of those older titles have. And the story, it looks pretty interesting. I mean, it's kind of like it also seems kind of like childish and whatnot too. So it's not like I'm not like all like obsessed over it, like, oh, like this is so deep or cool or whatever. But it is something that's interesting enough where I'd want to play it to see it through to the end. So and the combat, I love the fact that you're able to switch between weapons so fast, and you can switch at a moment's notice between like using your wrench or whatever to fight with melee, and then
melee,
and then also switching between all the different kinds of weapons. I think it makes the combat a lot cooler, just because it's not it doesn't seem like it's gonna get repetitive anytime soon, especially if they start throwing different enemy types at you, and then you get access to even more guns, and you upgrade the weapons, and then they can do even more things.
Just upset because he couldn't play with a rhino.
I do. I mean, I want to play.
It stands for,
right? I don't know what the acronym is for.
So just like a BFG stands for something a bit more nuanced.
Big fragging gun.
Yeah, but Rhino stands for rip you a new one. So that's what it's called. When you got that gun, it's like, I'm going to rip you a new one. Take out a big giant rocket launcher that shoots portals and shoots jeeps.
That's pretty cool.
Right?
Nice.
What other game can you say that just shoots portals and shoots jeeps, But
I want to see that gun, but I'm going to have to beat the game to do
for
it.
me, I mean, obviously, I don't think I'm going to be playing much today because obviously, I'm here for the first experiences, and I mostly, I play these games at home. So obviously I want you guys to give your reactions on stream. I'm not going to change much. I mean, maybe I'll do Stranger of what is it, Passion or whatever, or I forget the name of it. But basically, because I haven't played it. But the point is, I mean, for me, the game is comfort food, like I said, to me, it's an enhancement of the adventure I've had. I have not played all the Ratchet and Clank games, so there is some new stuff for me that I may not have experienced in previous games in terms of mechanics. Am I loving the story? Yes, it's much better than the 2016 game because they fell back a little bit more on the comedic loop of the original series and like the innuendo. Well, they don't have as much new innuendos in this one, right? Because the other Ratchet and Clanks were like really up your arsenal,
Right.
or freaking Quest for Booty and what's the other one? Going Commando, for example, right?
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore, but overall, I mean, the story speaks to me. They grabbed what they learned from Spider-Man, they mashed it up with Ratchet, and they gave us new experience. And to me, that's a win. The gameplay is fun. It's fast. It's adaptive to your fingers. Like you figure out how to press it. Even with the adaptive fingers, you were saying it was kind of tiring out. But
I'm sure that Sergio would say that I forget her name is also adaptive to his fingers.
Is that what you think I'd say?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Jesus.
At this point, I
We've
mean,
gone-
you
we've
sprouted
gone
Umar joke,
there.
so
We've gotten there, but overall, I mean, the character design is freaking flawless. You guys saw the wet fur.
Really?
It's like
That
it's
was her
freaking
name.
crazy how much detail they've put into it. And this is just the start of the generation, guys. I mean, this is just the first year. And Insomniac swears that this is only like 25% or some crap of like the full potential of the PS5. Like we have not touched what the PS5 can do.
PS5 games are gonna. This is gonna look. This already looks crazy. In 5 years from now, it's gonna be even. 'Cause I think about that a lot with the PS4. How Killzone Shadowfall, you still pop that in. It still looks great.
I know I played it
But
the other
then
day.
compare that to what came out last year, right? And like Last of Us Part 2. That's the same piece of
Ghoshima,
hardware. It's
yeah.
the same machine. And we're gonna have that with the PS5
And they
as well.
somehow cracked the code. They
Yeah.
found a way to make it. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna see that with the PS5, but it's just amazing to me that this is the conversation we're having because literally just when we're doing the reaction to Horizon, this dude is like, "That's bullshit. That's not gonna happen."
too good.
But
Yeah.
the problem is that Horizon is an upgrade from the PS4 version, so they don't have that much legwork to really have to cross
Yeah.
to get it working.
Granted, what I will say about that though is that this game looks beautiful, but while there's a lot of complexity there, right, compared to like what we saw in like the PS4 and the Xbox One and stuff like that, this does it more in like certain things like adding blurs and the RTX obviously really helps it, and the water. There's a good amount of like water and puddles and reflections and stuff. Horizon was like a whole different beast with like having the crazy underwater and all the animals and the insane amount of foliage and then destruction effects. So now I know there's a history of E3 presentations being a little embellished for the sake of selling extra copies. If this game promised on this presentation, and I'm amazed at how good it looks. I think it's hard to find games that look as good as this. But I'm still
On the fence.
a little. I've just been burned so many times by E3 presentations. I'm still on the fence as to whether or not Horizon's actually going to look like that. Now, seeing this, I'm a step closer to believing that it possibly does. But we'll have to wait and see. Like I got to see that insane loading under the water, the fish, the foliage.
Let's have Sergio weigh on this because we had the episode a while ago. So what's your thing on that?
I think Guerrilla knows better than to do that again. Well, because Killzone 2, right? So the original thing that happened with Killzone 2, they showed off this like pre-rendered cinematic that they said was in-game, supposed to be gameplay, all that stuff.
For every game. Halo 2 did that too, right?
Well, no, Halo 2 is a little different. The demo that they built, it was a real demo. It ran, but it wasn't actually what the finalized game was going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
It was designed specifically for E3, but they said it was supposed to be the game.
Cyberpunk, right?
What they did with Killzone 2 was that they showed off a trailer that they said, hey, this is what it's going to look like in the game. And mind you, for the time, for 2009, Killzone 2 looked unreal. I mean, it looked great. Did it look like that trailer from 2007? Absolutely not.
Yeah, was this the one that was like CGI or whatever?
It was CGI. It was CGI.
Crazy.
Well, I've made fun of that for years. Yeah.
But like I said, because Guerrilla's already sort of gone through that experience of, positioning themselves in a way that wasn't exactly consistent with what they were actually making, I feel like they're not going to make the same mistake twice. Now, is it possible that they could? Totally. But I don't see them putting themselves in that position again.
Well, to bounce off of that, the one thing that Spider-Man did wrong was lighting and puddles. And look what we got here in Ratchet and Clank. Got your lighting, you got your puddles.
Wrong, but they upgraded it with RT.
Exactly. So now we got lighting and we got our puddles. So, I guess lessons learned.
That's the power of next gen. I mean, honestly, like I said, in the conclusion of my part of the argument, I was like, look, I understand your point, but I weigh the crime and then, attribute a punishment to what I see. I wouldn't attribute Spider-Man's like lighting deficiencies and puddle deficiencies to like Cyberpunk's live, for example, right? So
well, that's fair, but
I wouldn't
to me,
harass them in the same way.
you guys earlier, you guys got a little bit of a taste of like how I am and how I think towards corporations and stuff. So to me, if you're gonna like, if the game's gonna be good and whatever, just show me what the game is. Like if Spider-Man would have been showed off with how it actually just looked like, I would have just been okay with it. Be like, whoa, this game's so amazing, and bought it. I don't understand the need that they feel with enhancing some things to then take it away afterwards. So that's what I'm saying. Like, just don't do it at all. I'm still gonna buy the game. It still looks amazing.
Well, I
just bothered by the lie, I guess.
Well, like I said, I understand your point. I'm just not gonna go there and ridicule them for that. I would do that about Cyberpunk because they just straight up, But regarding that, I can understand but for me, it's like I'm just like, hey, do it again, and they'll be like, yeah, we'll take into account, Jordan, while counting their fucking buku bucks, right? I'm not gonna take my opinion but the point is, at the end of the day, the most important part is that the gameplay wasn't a lie, and the gameplay wasn't a lie in any of the games we brought up. So for the most part, so at least they deliver on that, and that's the most important part, right? At least with interactive mediums like this, the most important part is that you play what they promised. So anyways, that about
all right.
I think we pretty much said good things about Ratchet. So let's start up a new stream and do a Stranger of whatever.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of the Co-Op Syndicate. I'm your co-host, Michael C. Moore.
I'm your other co-host, Jordan G. Marcos. Let me get
And I was Sergio Sotolongo. Thanks for having me, boys.
No problem.
Yeah.
He was.
Because I'm about to take him outside like Old Yeller and just, oh, you said you like Rivet? How much? And yeah, see you guys.
God.
Peace.